when I move my body just like this. I don't know why, but it feels like freedom.
Hello, Oregon. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Do you feel like dancing? Well, I do. I feel like dancing every time I see John Baptiste singing and dancing about freedom. And when I think about what freedom really means in America, stand up and dance with me. Nobody can see you. All right. Thank you for that moment of dance and joy. Today, I reflect back 2 years ago to June 2021, to the words of President Biden when he signed into law the federal holiday we now know as Juneteenth National Independence Day, Freedom Day. These were his words. I've only been president for several months, but I think this will go down for me as one of the greatest honors I will have as president. I regret that my grandchildren aren't here because this is a really, really, really important moment in our history. By making Juneteenth a federal holiday, all Americans can feel the power of this day and learn from our history and celebrate progress and grapple with the distance we've come and the distance we have to travel. Mr. President said it best. Juneteenth is about overcoming the pain of the past through our present joy and jubilation, recognizing the slow steps to present progress while understanding and grappling with the challenges of moving forward in America. Today, in 2023, Juneteenth is one of the most important annual celebrations of emancipation in American history. Yet many students have never been taught about this event in school. It is up to all of us as committed Democrats, committed to democracy and freedom for all, to teach the stories and the lessons behind the celebration of Juneteenth, or what my parents and grandparents called simply Freedom Day. The never-to-be-forgotten historic day on June 19, 1865, 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, when Union troops under the command of General Granger rode into Galveston, Texas, and read Executive General Order Number 3, all slaves are free. Perhaps you can, but even after all these years later, 158 years of them to be exact, it's still hard for me to imagine the shouts of joy and jubilation that broke out among the freed people of Texas on that glorious day. Maybe it was like the dancing expressed by the folks in John Baptiste's Freedom video. Maybe not the same moves, but truly lots of running and jumping with joy and dancing. Today in 2023, in Oregon, Juneteenth is a festive time of bringing families and communities together to celebrate with stories, song, dance, music, art, parades, and lots of uniquely prepared foods. I think I like this part the best. All in remembrance of that Freedom Day on June 19, 1865. But Juneteenth is also a unique time of reflection and education. It is with great pleasure that I have invited former Multnomah County Commissioner Loretta Smith to join me on this occasion. The best news of all, which I am so happy to announce, is that Loretta was recently elected chair of the DPO Black Caucus. My joy in handing the reins of leadership of this caucus over to her after 4 wonderful years of service as chair of the Black Caucus is beyond jubilation. Hello, Loretta.
Hi, how you
And
doing, Cher?
welcome. Thank you for
Yes.
joining me. May I begin by asking you to share with our colleagues and friends your thoughts on Juneteenth, and even more specifically, what freedom means to you.
These are just some thoughts of mine on this question. One of the most important ways we can promote Juneteenth, in my mind, is by sharing the celebration with our young people. They are leaders. They are ambassadors of America's future. It is our responsibility to educate them on a true and complete American history. A key aspect of that history being the spirit of resilience of Black people in America, and especially the joy of freedom on the first Juneteenth celebration. By sharing Juneteenth with young people, by truthfully discussing a painful American past, I believe we can begin to approach some of the current problems of systemic racism in our communities, organizations, and political structures. When we acknowledge the good news of General Granger's General Order Number 3, we must also teach youth that while Black people were no longer enslaved, under the new Jim Crow laws, they still had to work to support plantation owners. They were not permitted to reap the benefits of land ownership themselves. Indeed, this historical fact has had long-lasting generational impacts, still influencing today's widening racial wealth gap. This knowledge can be very important to future generations of students and young leaders tasked with building equitable solutions and accountability within our organizations and across spectrums of our society. By exposing the historical backdrop of the truths of Juneteenth with younger generations, we empower them to understand American history on their own terms. Juneteenth is also a tremendous opportunity for Americans of all ages, within the beauty of their own unique ethnic and cultural experiences, to unite under the common goal of learning from our past to improve the lives of all future generations.
Well, thank you so much
Yes.
for that.
Yes.
I really appreciate hearing from you. Remembering the first Juneteenth, I appreciate that the good news of freedom was about so much more than just celebrating one day or a single historical event. Truly, it is about a celebration of future freedoms, hope, family, community, culture, joy, profound resilience, as you said, and the possibility of magnificent things to come. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. May I say again that the Democratic Party of Oregon and the DPO Black Caucus invite you to join us in celebration of Juneteenth Oregon 2023. Please take advantage of every opportunity that you can to join these spectacular activities underway.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody.
Everybody.